Hello, everyone, and welcome to GTV.
Hello.
Um, Evolutionists, people who believe that we all share a common ancestor with other living organisms out there. Uh, Evolutionists claim that you and I are animals. Uh, they come to this conclusion, and well, one of the ways they get you to come to this conclusion is that they ask you, "Are you a mammal?" When you say that you're a mammal, how you doing, leader for Christ? Um, they say that because you're a mammal, that automatically means you're an animal, right? I'm walking out here at nighttime, guys, so just bear with me for the lighting and all that. But anyway,
Um, actually, uh, animals, also called uh, metazoa, are multicellular eukaryotic organisms in the biological kingdom Animalia. With few exceptions, animals consume organic material, breathe oxygen, are able to move, can reproduce sexually. I like that. And go through an ontogenic stage in which their body consists of a hollow sphere of cells, and then a bunch of words I can't say. So I guess that is what would classify us as an animal. Mammal would probably be a type of animal.
anyway, I got a few things to challenge on this particular line of thinking.
Here we go.
We got to learn how to question things sometimes because too many of us these days are just accepting whatever people tell us. You see, the skeptic will tell you to question everything, but when it comes to science, you got to question nothing. So I'm going to question some things. This particular scientific claim that we're an animal, and let's see where the logical conclusion comes when we talk about this.
Logical conclusion.
Number one, let's accept first and foremost this line of thinking that we're animals.
Good.
Let's just accept it for the sake of this example. All right.
Gman, it's let's accept it for the sake of argument, not sake of this example, for the sake of argument. God. You speak English. How can you fuck up this language? Shit.
Okay, so I'm an animal, but so are crocodiles and cats and dogs and tigers and lions and things like that and whatnot.
Bears. Oh my.
It's like are horrible. I need to get somewhere with this. I'm like, and there are some animals out there that are not mammals, like lizards. These are cold-blooded animals. They lay eggs. Mammals would just have babies straight out of their womb or whatever. But if you and I are animals and they're animals, and we're putting animals in zoos, then how come human beings can't be put in zoos? Now, let's just take this line of thinking.
That's where you're going with this. Holy shit. Oh, God. Fucking idiot.
Zoos. If you and I are animals and they're animals, and we're putting animals in zoos, then how come human beings can't be put in zoos? Now, let's just take this line of thinking to its logical conclusion. Right now,
if we put animals in zoos and we are animals, why aren't humans in zoos? Let's take this line of thinking to its logical conclusion. Okay, the logical conclusion for me, if someone said that to me, would be like, are you fucking serious, bro? That would be my logical conclusion. My logical conclusion would be, are you serious, bro? That's my logical conclusion. Let's see what G-Man's is.
if you go to the Bronx Zoo, Turtleback Zoo, which isn't that far from here, it's about maybe 6 or 7 miles from here, you'll find that there are lions, there are tigers, there are crocodiles, there are hyenas, there are wolves, and all kinds of animals.
I don't know about hyenas.
Why don't we display other animals like human beings in zoos? Remember, we're accepting the fact that we're animals with this line of thinking and whatnot, right? If I'm an animal and dogs and cats and lions and tigers are animals, why aren't we putting other human beings in zoos and putting them out for?
The reason for that, G-Man, the reason you wouldn't see humans in zoos are because you could walk out your front door and see as many humans as you want. The animals we see in zoos are usually animals that people normally wouldn't have a chance to see, like an elephant, a kangaroo, an ostrich, a lion, penguins. These are animals that you normally wouldn't see in a zoo. That's why you won't really, you won't find deer in zoos, or you probably won't find a moose in a zoo or a coyote, because you'll probably see these things in your regular life. So humans aren't in zoos because, well, first off, I'm one, so I'm not going to be amazed by seeing a human, and I can see as many humans as I want by just walking out the door. So there's nothing rare.
For display. After all, let's keep it real. Some people will tell you that they're in zoos because they're trying to protect their species, and they're trying to.
Some people would say they are in zoos because they are trying. I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
Study their species, but in reality, what's going on is that their autonomy is being taken away from them. They don't have any freedom to come and go unless the zookeeper tells them that they can come and go.
Are you talking about humans or the animals?
As a matter of fact, these are godlike decisions we're making for these animals. We tell them when they can come, when they can go, when they can eat, when they can drink, when they can sleep. We tell them pretty much whatever we say we should do, they should do. Sounds like slavery to me.
We don't tell these animals anything. Oh, God.
Me. But anyway, if that's the case, then we should be able to put other human beings in a zoo and put them on display so that people can visit and wonder about us as well, too.
Again, why? You can walk out your front door and see as many humans as you want. As many humans as you want. Why would we be in zoos?
Especially if a person has a deformity or something like that. We should throw them in a zoo, try to protect their species. You know what I mean?
What? What? What the fuck did this nigga just say? Hold on.
To me. But anyway, if that's the case, then we should be able to put other human beings in a zoo and put them on display so that people can visit and wonder about us as well, too. Especially if a person has a deformity or something like that. We should throw them in a zoo, try to protect their species. You know what I mean?
No, G-Man, I don't know what you mean. Okay, we should put humans in zoos, especially if they have some type of deformity. Oh my God, deformality. Oh my God, I forgot how to say it. Especially if there's something wrong with them, we should put them in zoos to protect the species. G-Man, well, that species would be us. Okay, we're that species, and well, to protect the species, you would want to make sure that this person with a deformality doesn't reproduce. that would be protecting our species, making sure that that person doesn't make more deformed humans.
If human beings are animals, ladies and gentlemen, and we're gonna take this to its logical conclusion now.
Oh, right? I forgot. This is going to be something logical.
Where's our fur? I've heard people on the internet say that the hair that is on your body is considered fur. That's right.
Those people would be wrong, Gman. Okay, anybody who's told you that the hair on our body is fur would be wrong. We don't have fur. We have hair. Some people have thicker hair. Some people have fine hair. I barely have hair. If you saw my armpits, men would laugh at me. Women would be jealous of me.
Right. They said the hair on your body is not really hair. It's fur.
Those people are wrong.
Now, when winter gets here, I put on a coat when I get cold. I don't see any animals outside putting on any coats. Why is that? Why is it that we don't see animals making coats and putting them on to keep themselves warm? Why is it that human beings was able to evolve into such an intelligent species where we know how to put on coats and hats to keep ourselves warm, but for some reason our fur doesn't grow? You guys notice that here in the United States, we have like 4 seasons. We have summer, we have winter, we have fall, and we have the spring, right? Winter, spring, summer, fall. We have winter here. You would think the evolutionary clock would at least say during the winter, our body should develop more hair to keep us warm. But that's
gross. That would be a nasty evolutionary trait. And G-Man, how fast do you think evolution works? Okay. I mean, look in the mirror, G-Man, okay? Clearly, you are a man of African descent. Your race your race comes from the African Sahara, where a bunch of people that look like you are running around. That shit takes a long time, bro. Moving to the United States ain't gonna make changes like that. You know what really gets me? What really gets me is G-Man's being dead serious. He ain't fucking right. No, he is being serious right now, and it's like, damn. That is one dumb
nigga.
It's not the case. So it shows the inconsistencies of this claim that we're animals, but there's a lot more. It ain't just the fact that we don't grow fur. It ain't just the fact that we don't that we're hypocrites and we don't put human beings in zoos, right?
Hypocrites.
Do you notice that there are animals out there that eat grass? They eat this grass and they eat leaves, and they don't cook them so that their stomachs can handle them. These animals can eat certain raw foods that human beings must cook before they can eat. If evolution is making us better according to our environment, then our stomachs should still be able to eat this kind of food without us getting sick. Let me explain that to you again. If evolution is true, how you doing, Faith Lane? And I see Isaiah's watching as well. If evolution is true, then I should be able to eat that grass without worrying about it poisoning my system. Horses can eat grass. I've even seen carnivores like cats eat grass. And obviously they do it for a specific reason. I'm not using that like as an ace in a hole or anything like that. Some of them use it so they can throw up. Some of them do it because I've heard some veterinarians talk about how they like the vegetation or whatever. But the fact of the matter is, their stomachs can handle eating those kind of things. We can't. Why is it that animals can eat raw food, like raw chicken, and not get sick? But then we eat raw chicken and we get, we get into the dangers of salmonella poisoning or whatever.
Well, that would be if you're getting chicken from a supermarket and eating that raw. Okay. If you killed a chicken and then ate it raw, you would have as much chance of getting sick as if it was a different animal, and if evolution is true, why can't we eat grass, or why can't our stomach handle, grass and leaves and stuff like that? Why can't we do that? I don't know, man. If evolution is true, maybe we should have found out a way of not needing to eat those kinds of things. If evolution is true, maybe we should have been able to find a food source or a way of eating food that didn't take up so much energy and that was so little in nutrition. But then how could this be accomplished? If evolution is true, they'd have, we would have to have a way of thinking of how we can eat stuff in a, brains, that's it. Yes, we got big brains, and we figured out how to cook stuff, which made it more easily digested. So we could get more nutritious things. Eating grass and leaves, that actually takes up a lot of energy from your body with very little, coming out of it. And why can't we eat that stuff, G-Man? Why can't we? Well, G-Man, because we've been eating it differently, and that the organ in our body that would have allowed us to eat that stuff, called our, I think, gallbladder. I'm going to be embarrassed if that's not what it is. No, appendix. I'm sorry, appendix. That organ in our body, appendix. It is believed. Surprisingly, we can't be sure because it's been so long since we've needed to use that organ. It is believed that that organ was used for that very reason, eating raw food, leaves and twigs and stuff like that. That organ has basically become useless, getting smaller and smaller. We can expect to eventually start seeing people born without it. How could that happen? Oh, evolution. It's getting rid of an organ that we no longer need anymore. Well, holy shit.
Why is it that? I mean, if we're more evolved than these other animals, our stomachs.
First mistake, G-Man. God, you fucking idiot, G-Man. How many times have I told you this? We are not more evolved. There's no such thing as more evolved. Okay, we are not more evolved than other animals. Okay, everything evolves. Everything will evolve forever. You are wrong when you say we are more evolved. That is incorrect. We are not more evolved.
To be able to handle eating those kinds of food. And remember, according to the evolutionists, you're an animal. You're not a human. So, oh, I'm sorry, I got that wrong. I'm sorry. Humans are animals, according to the evolutionists.
Yes.
But there's more, guys. There's more we got to talk about here.
Of course.
If we're animals, then why are we the weak? I mean, if we're the most evolved animal.
No, G-Man, we are not the most evolved. Okay. See, this whole argument is going to be stupid because of that one thing you don't understand. We are not more evolved, G-Men. We are more intelligent, but not more evolved. You don't understand the difference. You think more intelligent means more evolved. Idiot.
On the planet, right? Why is it that we need to create weapons to defend ourselves? I mean, listen, you can take Conor McGregor and throw him in the wild. He ain't beating up no bear. You can put Conor McGregor in the wild. He ain't beating up no lion. You can put Conor McGregor in the wild with his bare hands. He's not going to kill an elephant. There's very few people in the world that is trained to do that kind of thing.
There are very few people in the world that are trained to kill an elephant with their bare hands. Really? What people? I know it ain't gonna be a 5'9" Irish guy. I'd say it'd probably be a big giant black man. That's what I'm guessing.
But if we're more evolved,
we are not more evolved, you dummy.
And we're so much better than these animals. Why do we depend on our intellect instead of our brute force to beat these animals? I mean, after all,
because that's exactly what made us better, G-Man. That is what made us rulers of this planet. Not our brute force, our noodles. G-Man, you're answering your own question.
More evolved than all of them are. We're supposed to be getting better over time, right? Stronger, we're living longer, and all this other stuff that they're telling us.
Who's they?
See, these are the kind of things that go through my head when somebody tells me I'm an animal.
Really?
I think what we need to do is accept the fact that we all have a common designer. Okay, big deal. Human beings have babies the same way an animal has a baby. Well, that's not really true either. And let me actually point out why that's not true. And hopefully somebody will get something from this, especially if you're in your teens and you're going to school and someone's shoving this lie down your throat. Do you notice that when an animal is born, an animal can stand almost immediately? Sometimes it takes them a couple of minutes, but many animals can stand up immediately. Many animals, if not all animals, act on instinct. They rarely think about what they're going to do first. Whereas when a human being is born, the only instinct we know is wah, 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 and then give him the milk and he's quiet.
Yeah, G-Man. Yeah. And that is a very, very important instinct. In fact, that instinct is literally the difference between life and death. Okay? You know, I already know where you're going. Okay, yeah, babies are just helpless, just laying there. Right? And then you got these animals who, by instinct, they can do all this stuff. You don't think babies do shit by instinct, G-Man? Okay. I am in distress. What shall I do? Start screaming. Instinct. I'm hungry. Start screaming. Instinct. Then mommy puts that sexy nipple in baby's mouth, and instinct, I start sucking away at all that loveliness. Instinct. Okay. How did that baby know to swallow the milk? Why didn't the baby put that nipple in its eye? Instinct. I shit myself. This isn't good. I better start screaming because instinct. You leave a baby full of shit, infection, and then dead baby in a smelly butt.
Smack him on the butt, give him some milk, and he's quiet.
Instinct.
And these things have to be learned, but the animals already have an instinct to know these things, right?
So do we.
Interesting, right? But if we had a common designer who made us similar to these animals, that when we have our babies, like for example, you'll see a giraffe have a baby the same way a woman would have a baby, through her womb, right? There's no egg and no sitting on her egg or whatever.
So technically, it would be out her vagina.
Right? If we had a common designer, we would see we would see his creativity with animals and human beings as well. What we would not see if evolution was true, we would have instincts too when we're born.
We do.
Where are our instincts? Why is it that we have to depend on our intellect? You know, the only reason we can beat the animal kingdom the way we do is because of the fact that we can think.
Yes, Gman.
And that we have technology.
Yes, that is exactly what our ancestors, you know, those fake monkey people, according to you, you know, Neanderthal and all those other things, Homo orgasm erection, that's another one. They didn't have the brains we have, and they did rely on brute force. And where are they now, G-Man? We outsmarted these animals, which is why we're on top. You know, using brute force, man, come on, man. We're talking about ruling the world here. Using brute force, that's freaking black people shit. Okay, when you want to rule this world, you got to do it like white people. Use your brain and outsmart them.
You want to see how long animals are gonna how long we'll dominate animals on this planet if we're not able to use our brains and create weapons that can kill them?
Not if we couldn't use our brains, we would go quickly to the bottom of the animal hierarchy if we could not use our brains. But we can use our brains.
I mean, obviously, our common designer, a common designer, is the one that gives us this ability to do these things, not evolution. Evolution.
Wait a minute. So, G-Man is taking issue with us being animals, and we start naming the similarities, and then then go to a zoo. But then he starts naming similarities between humans and animals, and then says common designer, and now he's okay with it. What?
Teaches that we're supposed to get better over time. If I compare myself with a horse who runs that fast, and I'm supposed to be more evolved than a horse,
you're not more evolved.
And I'm not even anywhere near close to how fast a horse can run, I'm questioning evolution at that point.
Well, G-Man, I can get in a car and go faster than any horse. Evolution. I am faster than a horse. Okay. I got a 1968 Chevy C10 that proves I'm faster and stronger and more roomy than a horse.
If you want to tell me I'm an animal, then I should be able to put a human being in the zoo because, after all, he's an animal. But then the evolutionists will try to argue and say, well, just because you're more evolved doesn't mean that you can.
You're not more evolved.
You know, animals in the zoo, even though we do that all the time. Like I said, you can go to the Bronx Zoo, Turtleback Zoo, or the zoo that's in your city or your neighborhood, and you can go and watch them on display. And no one will call that slavery. You throw a human being in the zoo, and everyone's in an outrage, but they believe they're an animal. And can you imagine a human being behind that cage, and you getting a bowl of stew, and then you feeding that I'm sorry, no, not a bowl of stew. Somebody gives you some peanuts so they can throw it in your mouth, so they can laugh at you while they watch you eat. See, human beings would get outraged.
You know, this fucking idiot. You know, G-Man actually thinks that's what we would do. If we were to put humans in zoos, he thinks that's what we'd be tossing peanuts. Hey, do tricks. G-Man, when's the last time you were at a zoo? You couldn't do that shit to a zoo animal. Throwing peanuts at it. Someone's going to come and say, get the hell out of here, dude. Okay, you can't do that to regular animals at a zoo. Okay, let alone humans.
Outraged if somebody did that to another human being. But they want to claim being an animal. And I say this, if a person's going to claim to be an animal, then we should start treating them that way. We really, really should. If they want to claim to be an animal, we need to have some as pets. Get some human beings as pets. Wait a minute.
This coming from the black fool who defends slavery. Okay? Hey, we should be able to have them as pets. You fucking sellout, dude. You fucking call me a sellout? You fucking sellout. Jesus, man.
Wait a minute. I think we did that in history before. Take away their rights, tell them what they can do and when they can't do it, feed them for sport. That sounds familiar.
Slavery?
Sounds like slavery to me.
Okay.
So it's okay to enslave animals.
No, it's not.
But it's not okay to enslave human beings.
That's correct.
It's a very interesting thing there. I mean, Isaiah, you're watching this. I mean, what if somebody wanted to come up with legislation, I mean, since you're an animal and all, that they can buy human beings and put them in zoos or bring back slavery? Because according to your evolutionary...
Okay. If somebody came up with legislation to do that, they would be laughed out of the building. Laughed or possibly beat up out of the building. That's what would happen.
Argument, they would be perfectly well within their rights.
No, I mean, no. In fact, everyone would say, "Did you just say that, bro? Can you repeat that again?" So I could put this on YouTube.
Animal anyway, right? An animal acting on your instincts, even though that's not true, because you think before you do things.
Gman, I think before I do things. Regular humans think before they do things. Gman, you are pure instinct. You are Orwell instinct / impulse / retarded.
And these are the kind of things and the kind of topics they're not going to talk about in your classroom. You see, their job is to open up your biology book, tell you what to believe in your biology book, and then you, being a good boy, by listening and regurgitating what's in a science book, you might actually get your degree in that particular field of science.
And how's the book you rely to so different, G-Man? You read what's in it and you believe it. To not believe it would be bad. Same thing.
You actually might pass your class. See, we call that indoctrination. We don't call that thinking. When a person is thinking...
I call it education.
A person hears a claim and a person begins to go, I got a problem with that. Or, I got a few questions. Not just accept it because somebody has a degree.
Well, that's true, G-Man. That's true. I've heard things that didn't sound right, and I thought that doesn't sound right. I have questions, and so I'd look it up. I used to have questions about evolution. I thought, there's something wrong there, man. I used to think I believe in evolution to an extent, but I think aliens had a little something in there because you'll never see a horse turn into a bear or a tiger turn into a giraffe. So I think aliens had something to do with that. And then I looked it up, and then I realized, okay, I'm not going to say that alien thing again because now I just realized how it happens. I'm going to have to edit this part out.
So, and we're going to talk about science, which deals with observation. We're going to talk about science, which deals with
stuff you don't know about.
Hold on a second here, guys. Deals with observation and deals with evidence and things like that and what we can see and making predictions. Well, then I should be able to predict that
Jesus
what the
is
next
coming?
step of human evolution is for human beings, which some religions have already done.
Wait, what?
What the predictions? Well, then I should be able to predict that what the next step of human evolution is for human beings, which some religions have already done.
Well, G-Man, I wouldn't really hold what some religions have said about what the next stage of human evolution will be because they have nothing to do with that. I would turn to the field of science, see what they say. I wouldn't turn to religions.
A lot of people don't like to talk about that topic because they try to stay safe and they go, oh, depends on environment, depends on what part of the world they're living in. Human beings might get stronger because it gets colder, and that's a crock of baloney. It is a crock of baloney.
Really?
All right, human beings are not living as long as everyone is claiming that we're living. I believe, okay, let's say hypothetically speaking, the Earth is 1,000,000 years old, right?
Okay, hypothetically speaking, the Earth is 1,000,000 years old. Okay. Uh, Technically speaking, the Earth is billions of years old. Wait, right? No, wait. The universe is billions. Earth is more than 1,000,000.
Let's say the Earth is 7 million years old or 1 billion years old. That means at some point the water was cleaner than what it was now. And only a person who's uneducated when it comes to the field of nutrition would say something like, well, clean water doesn't mean that you're going to live longer. Again, those people don't know nothing about health if they're saying stuff like that. There was more nutrition in our soil. We farm our soil so much that we barely can get any vitamins or minerals out of it, which is why we got to take supplements in order to stay healthy.
It's called overpopulation.
So imagine this: we got clean water, clean air. We don't got all this toxic nonsense going on, right? In our air, we got clean water. We get nutrition in our food. Will human beings live longer if we had this nutrition?
Probably,
Absolutely.
yeah.
We would absolutely, positively live longer if we had more nutrition.
Yes.
Which tells me that people back then lived longer than they live today. Now, some people are going to argue, well, we didn't have antibiotics. We got antibiotics today. People are still dying.
Look at like the baby boomers and stuff, or all those people from World War II and World War One. Like those guys fucking lived until 90s. Gman, you'll be dead at 70. Okay, me. I mean, I'm kind of low on that totem pole myself. I mean, fucking Puerto Ricans. We're a result of massive rape between the Taino Indians and you. That's what created me. I'm disgusted with myself. Yeah.
Still dying young. We got vaccines today. People are still dying young. We got a ton of technology, and people are historically the most unhealthy we have ever had in history. Look at the obesity rate here in the United States.
It's called the Industrial Revolution.
There's a lot of things you got to argue to try to argue that if the environment was healthier, human beings. I mean, even the government has said, and you know what? When I was in science class, I said it.
They said when you were in science class, you were asleep.
If we got more nutrition and our air was clean, the water was cleaner, we would live longer.
Yes.
The average
Gman,
person
why are you arguing this? Everyone would agree with that. Yes. If the food we had was better, if the environment was better, less pollution, we would live longer and healthier. Yeah, G-Man. Why are you even bringing this up? Everybody agrees with that.
What they're putting on their body when they go into a shower. The average person doesn't know what's in their tap water. The average person doesn't know what they're breathing in and out every day. Oxygen. And what their liver and what their kidneys go through on a regular basis. The average person doesn't know this. Now, I went to school for that topic.
No, you
didn't.
I
know full well what your body you're going through. So, again, evolutionary theory goes against common sense. Evolutionary theory goes against what we observe every single day. It goes against science. That's why I constantly say,
how does evolution go against science? It's taught in science. It's not taught in English class. It's not taught in math class. It's not taught in social studies.
Evolution is not science. It is a pseudoscience.
Then why is evolution taught in every school on planet Earth? every grade, every country on planet Earth, you will be taught evolution in science class. How have we all been fooled, Gman? How has this been accomplished?
Something else too, but because of the channel that I'm on right now and what I promised to do on this channel, I'm not going to say it. But I definitely believe that evolutionists and evolution itself is nothing more than a pseudoscience and a bunch of dogma. It has nothing to do with the reality that we're living in. Some people are going to say I'm crazy for what I'm saying because evolution has contributed to so many scientific breakthroughs, and we're going to get to that one day in one of these videos, guys, to prove that that's not even true either. They're talking about microevolution. They're not talking about macro.
I'm
All right,
I'm
and
already done with this fucking idiot.